What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and also today's missing person case is Thailand Purnia. Also, today's missing person case is Destiny. Today's missing person case is Haley Bible. Also, today's missing person case is Isabel Grace. Also, today's missing person case is Alexa Ware. So today's missing person case is Destiny. Also, today's missing person case is Aaron Teresa Lawrence. Today's missing person case is Jessica Marshik from What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's video What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. If you can hear me all right, please put a 1 in the chat. Thank you, Gizla, so much from Grizzly True Crime for the shout out. I need to quickly pop out my chat real quick. I forgot to do that. Do that real quick. So, oops. I put that little poll up there. Because I've been trying to figure out a good time to start doing like my streams at a certain time each day, so you guys know when I'm gonna go live. But with the Amber Heard thing going on, I'm thinking I'll probably wait until that trial ends, and then I might be doing some lives where I kind of go earlier, and then some lives where I go later. To kind of mix it up because I know some people are in different time zones, so we'll be trying to work on that as well. Let me just quickly get this put in here. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, we're working with the new system. I think we're just about got all the bugs fixed, but one of the biggest problems I had is I was buffering a lot, and I thought it was my internet, but apparently it was more to do with my laptop. It just couldn't handle what I was doing. So luckily on my birthday I got a new desktop. So we've just been kind of working with a new hardware, and so we're just kind of working out all the kinks, but we'll get there. And definitely this channel has evolved from since where it's come from. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. So it looks like about I'm going to end the poll. So about over people voted. So it's about 50%. Okay, that's interesting. I thought it'd be higher. I thought it'd be like 3/4 of you guys watching that. I kind of tune in a little bit just because it is fascinating. So anyway, we'll end that poll there. I was just kind of curious to see where it was going to gauge. But, so yeah, so today's show, if you came from Grizzly, there's been new information that's kind of came out, which has kind of been rumored for a long time, some of it, and now it's just kind of solidified it. So we'll kind of go over some of that. I won't, since Gizla, she kind of delved into Ron Logan. We'll touch on him a little bit, but we'll kind of go a different direction, so it's not just kind of recapping over the same stuff. So just before we start, let me... so we did go to Skinwalker Ranch on Monday. I'm just going to play just a little video from that. So if you haven't checked that out... We went to Skinwalker Ranch, which is here in Utah where I live. We went down there for an evening, and we went live for about an hour and a half, I believe. And so, it was pretty cool. So here's us at the main. There's like a couple of ways you can go to the place. It's pretty secluded, and it's hard to kind of get to. And obviously, since it's become so popular that they've kind of like expanded like how you can kind of get in. So we had some trouble getting into a certain spot, but we still managed to get footage of most of the ranch up on a different bluff. Hey, so here's us at the main gate, though. It's just kind of funny. So this is Skinwalker here, and then this is kind of where the front gate is, and we were kind of standing taking a few pictures, and this happened.
Gosh, I wish the sun wasn't facing this way. Oh, I'm gonna use the sign. There we go. Alright, here we are at Skinwalker Ranch. As you can see, they've got us on camera. Hi, guys. Love you guys. Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, they got crazy. Cameras.
Here it comes.
Dang, that's crazy. So there's Skinwalker Ridge.
You are trespassing. Please leave the area. This area is under video surveillance and you have been recorded.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so we got in trouble. We were trespassing. No, not really. But I think that's just a recorded audio, obviously, that they just... it must be like motion censored, but it was kind of funny that happened. So anyway, like I said, I have the live show that I did. So if you haven't seen that, when you get time, if you're into that stuff, check that out. We do unsolved murder, true crime, and we dab on paranormal a little bit. So, and then I'll have some extra footage for members as well. And that footage I just showed you will be part of the member footage. So thank you, Tom, for your donation. He says, hi, Mob Crew. So, all right, let's get into, since Gisla was just talking from her show, I've been watching this footage, and I've shown you guys a couple of times, but I've spotted some other things in this. And so this is a helicopter that's flying over. So on the 13th is obviously when the girls went to the park, and they were dropped off at... let me quickly just go over the timeline, just for those that may be newer to the case, and then we'll dab on what I found. So just for those that are newer to the case. So the girls were actually... it was a Monday, and it was a makeup day, so they had off. It was a makeup snow day that they didn't use, so the girls had off. It was a last-minute thing, and they decided to go to the bridge. So their sister, Kelsi, dropped them off at approximately 1:40. And so they entered this trail, which is the 501 trail right here. Actually, let me minimize this. I'm going to be working on some borders as well, to kind of make my live shows a little more professional. So they entered in onto the 501 trail here. And it took them about 25 minutes, give or take, to get to the bridge itself. And so at 2:05, Liberty takes a Snapchat looking forward, just at platform 2 there. And then she takes another Snapchat photo at 2:07. Looking back at the direction they came at, and she's standing on platform 3. Abby's just passing 2. And now we've learned that this footage here was taken at 2:13, which is interesting, as Gisla mentioned. This was also the date, February 13, 2:13. So the time was 2:13 apparently when he approached the girls. Lucky Libby was aware to was brave enough and smart enough to pull out her camera and start recording this creepy guy. Sadly, he would walk up to them and tell them that guys, down the hill, and we'll play the audio once. And he carted the girls apparently down this hill. It's assumed that they tried to run, and they tried to run across the creek, to maybe get away. They found Libby's shoe on this side of the creek, and then sadly their father was supposed to pick him up within an hour or so. When he got there, there was no word from him. And thank you. Oops, I just missed a donation. Thank you so much for your super sticker, Caroline. And so the father was supposed to pick him up around 4 or 5. When he got there, he tried to call him. The phone was ringing, but no answer. And sadly, they couldn't find the girls. And then so it moved into the night. They still couldn't find them. They had a search party. They called off the search party around midnight and then resumed early on in the morning. And sadly found the girls the next day at little after noon. So I think like 12 something, just barely after noon. On February 14th, they found the girls. So, and we'll just play the audio once real quick for you guys. And then I'll show you the footage that I've been kind of going over. Oh, let me turn that up just a little. I just want to make sure, Dog Defender, that yeah, I know. I just, like I said, she's truly inspired me, and she is an amazing YouTuber, and I just feel very humble to be a part of the same community. So So this was helicopter footage of February 14th. So I'm assuming after watching this footage, because I've been trying to find like a timestamp of when they were actually like flying over. I'm assuming this is afternoon, and they've already just barely. I think these helicopters probably got sent out just as they maybe found the bodies. Because well, I'll show you why here in just a second. And apparently after they were done filming, this was uploaded around 3 p.m. their time. So, and they were flying around for about 40 minutes, or at least recording for 35 anyway. So one of the first things I noticed, and look at my timestamp. Actually, let me pull up VLC so I can slow it down for you guys. I noticed a couple of flashes, and let me slow this down here for you guys. Oh, thank you, Rob, for your $5. Thank you, Rob McMullen. Thank you so much, buddy, for your $5 donation. So I'm going to slow this down for you guys for a minute. One more time. Put that over here. All right, 13, 14, I had it. So like I said, I'm pretty sure this was at some time between noon and 1 is when they're flying over. And so they've got responders in the water here. Okay, so here's the responders. It's going to be coming up right after this, so I've got to kind of slow down here. 13, 14, right. Here we go. Okay, so what you're going to see is a glistening right here, which is the crime scene tape. So you'll kind of see it, and I'll play it a couple times. So you can kind of see something just kind of like catch the sun, and it's clearly it's the crime scene tape, kind of catching the sun and the reflection. And so we'll play it here, and it's going to be right up here. See, you're going to see all this kind of reflection right here just going off, and it might even be the volunteers may have some kind of like flash beacon going off, because you do tend to see that a lot in this particular area going off. I think it's in between either the crime scene tape or a mix between the both. But clearly this is where, and obviously there's a certain YouTuber who uses this tree that forks over to kind of gauge where on the other side of the creek, the location or the approximate location of where the crime scene happened. So seeing where this forked tree is just kind of bent over, it's almost like it's kind of pointing to the location. So that's always a good reference right here. But like I said, you kind of see this little bit of kind of like glistening from maybe the crime scene, and then there's also some flashes. And so I thought it was kind of interesting. One of the reasons why I was watching this video over and over is because this was less than 24 hours from the crime, and so it's quite possible that the killer could be in there, maybe with the volunteers, or maybe in a vehicle somewhere, and the helicopter flies all around the entire area. So I've been watching it multiple times. Yeah, Chrissy, a certain YouTuber, right? Yeah. I don't like that they had public in the initial search. That brings in a lot of DNA contamination. That was very unnecessary. Yeah, this was a case where they thought that the girls were just, teenagers, and they're at a park, and they were just kind of, maybe at the worst they were thinking maybe since they were on the bridge that they might have fallen. So that was kind of either they might have got injured at the bridge, or were kind of being bad, and just weren't coming home on time. So that's kind of what they thought initially. So I think that's why they had all these volunteers. So anyway, I'm gonna go back to normal real quick, and then I'll show you the other thing, and then we'll get into some of the new information here. So skipping ahead. Okay, and I just put right there. And I found better footage. I think I've told you this, guys, because the original footage is uploaded in 360. This is uploaded in 720, which was nice. So you're gonna see just flashes going off like crazy right here, and someone told me you can actually see some flashes up here. I think that might even actually be the crime scene tape. And it is not the creek, because the creek is not that wide, so the creek would probably stretch to here. You're going to see it in this area. I've got to slow it down. One of the reasons why I wanted to show this again is because there's other content creators out there that have been kind of showing different locations of where they believe the bodies were found. And I'm not here to say that they're incorrect, but I'm just showing you from what my research has uncovered. I think it's pretty safe to say, especially when they released the 1,400 feet from Ron Logan's property, it's pretty safe to say when you, it's real close to the creek, because his house is about probably 1,500 feet from the creek. So the helicopter is going to come into view here in just a second. And then you're going to actually see a bunch of flashes go off. So here comes the helicopter. And then if you just keep watching. And right here. So it's going to be right here. And I'm going to play it. And you're just going to see flashes going off like crazy. And someone screenshotted me one up here, so it makes me wonder. I think, and then there's another one there, so you can see it going off. Either their detectives are taking pictures, or it could be like maybe they got beacons on them so they can see, where they're at. Oh, thank you, Grizzly. Your research is great. Maps, distance, footage, and those flashes. Damn. Yeah, it's interesting. I said I had ulterior motives when I was watching this. I was really just trying to look for suspicious vehicles or a suspicious person. I wasn't really looking for the crime scene itself. And then this all turned into a debunking video and all sorts of things. But I'll play it one more time for you guys, and then we'll get into the new information. And I've got some interviews that we'll play of Ron Logan. Ron Logan actually does an interview the 14th, the day of this day actually. Yeah, I think it is this day that he does an interview. Oh, actually, I didn't put it back far enough. Okay, here we go. So just one more time. Because there's been theories that the bodies were more towards like the cemetery or more in the middle area, and it didn't line up to where the crime scene tape was from the footage. So as you can see before this helicopter comes in, once again you'll see these the crooked trees kind of hanging over. I said that's kind of like your kind of point of reference, which is these trees right here, these big tall crooked ones. And then here comes, so it's going to be about right in this area here. Yep, right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's just a bunch of flashes. There's another one. And so I know some people may have thought it could have been, like from the water, but like I said, the creek actually curves back, so it's, and the creek's not that wide. Because that's what I thought at first is, it's just a reflection from the water and it's just kind of bouncing off. But no, there's clearly activity going over here, and that just kind of fits with everything that's just kind of been out. And so, yeah, I wanted to show that one more time. And then, of course, this is where I debunked the cars and everything, but I'm not going to go over that stuff again. But because a lot of people thought that, well, there's some YouTubers out there that believe that some of this footage, the reason why the helicopter footage stops for a minute is because they went over the crime scene. But actually, you'll notice that if you watch the original footage, it does that a lot. It's like they must have lost the signal or something. But anyway. But yeah, so you'll see this will stop for a minute, and people thought, oh, they edited the footage because, this is where I did my debunking video, because they thought this was Abby and Libby sitting right here. But this is actually just a red vehicle, white vehicle. You actually just have the cemetery right here. It just looks like it's still full of trees just because they're so tall. But, and you can actually see with the better footage here that they're vehicles, it's not people. So it was kind of rumored that was like a spot where the crime scene, but it's not. So anyway, but like I said, I've got a video on that if you want to check that out. So now with the new information, so let's go, before we do the interviews, let's check out some of the new information that we learned. So one of the big ones was a piece of clothing from one of the girls was missing. I think I've heard that undergarment, because when they released this, there was redacted parts. But I think someone figured out that it was, I think somebody has also gotten the unredacted, but I believe undergarment is the word they used. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, please. And then they did also find, I believe, some items of clothing in the river itself. So maybe, I don't know why that was in there, what the killer was doing. Another new one, which this is actually conflicts with what the leaker texts were, and this says no signs of struggle or fight. So that's something new. We always kind of heard from leaker that they supposedly Libby put up a fight, and that there was supposedly could have been like DNA under her fingernails. So, but from this new affidavit, it's a search warrant for Ron Logan's property, and I'm going to play part of the Murder Sheets new podcast that came out 2 days ago, I think, or a day ago. And they found that undergarment under the bridge. Ooh, thank you, Grizz. Interesting. So on the other side. Wow. Under the bridge, really? I wonder... Okay, let's just pull up the map real quick. I wonder... Now, when they say under the bridge, could that mean that... Oops, let me just... Okay. So, here's the bridge. Now, the bodies, the girls went around here. And then they were escorted down this way here. And then tried to make a break for it. And were found here. As you can see, this is 1,400 feet from Ron Logan's property. So, it just matches right up. This is just kind of approximate. I wonder if the undergarment went in the water, because I heard they found some clothing in the water. So I wonder if it landed and it was under the bridge on this side. So it still came from the other side of the creek, if that makes sense. It just came down the creek and got lodged on one of these, logs or something, or debris. So, then some kind of cutting tool was used. That's kind of really known something like that was used, a knife or something. Sadly, because they've done multiple warrants looking for people who have like knife collections. They actually went to certain stores looking for a particular knife set, I believe. It's like a fishing knife with a gut hook on it, if I remember correctly. Another big one is the bodies were moved and staged. So, was it Dave Escaron that said that? The Libby fought like hell DNA. Oh, was it the David? Okay, thank you, Donald. All right. So let me correct myself. So David says the Libby fought like hell and DNA under the fingernails came from David Erskine text. Okay, thank you. I think maybe Leaker just expanded on it. I could be wrong. So bodies were moved and staged. That's quite interesting. That's another rumor that we've heard for a long time. But now it's been kind of official. So that's pretty interesting. Sadly, the victims lost a large amount of blood. Won't go too much into it, but it is believed that one was basically... Each girl suffered some kind of neck wound. One was deeper. And from that, the killer, because of a particular blow, the killer would have most likely had blood on them. And so this comes from the search warrant affidavit. So that's pretty interesting. So I've always kind of theorized that if this wasn't a fanny pack or some kind of deer kit, it's most likely just a brown hoodie. And he could have probably just took off his windbreaker and they just kind of wrapped it up and then stuffed it into his pocket of the brown hoodie. And I've kind of recreated that before on my channel where because with those brown hoodies where it's got the pockets that go all the way through, you can stuff quite a bit in there. And with windbreakers, they're not really thick, so you can just kind of wrap them up. So if that was covered in blood, he could have took that off, wrapped it up, and just kind of stuffed it in there. Had his gun, knife, Another thing that's very interesting is hair fibers were found at the crime scene. So that could relate to some kind of DNA. We know that they took a hair sample from Kagan, which is interesting. So hopefully it's from the killer. And then the warrant was looking for animal hairs, guns, and knives. So I think that kind of puts more weight to the guy was probably most likely had a gun, and had some kind of knife or knives with him. At the very least. Interesting if there's animal hairs. Could you look for somebody, like if they were looking for a person of interest, if it was like hair from a horse or hair from a dog. You know, you could look for a particular dog or somebody that has that particular dog. So I think that's interesting. Another one that they released was digital evidence from the crime scene. So they believed that this killer or the suspect took some kind of digital evidence of what happened, either video, camera. I mean, they're looking for everything, all the way down to like floppy, which is interesting. But that's always been kind of. I don't think there's some video on the dark web. I think if it made its way to the dark web, I think it would have been exposed and people would have seen it. But I mean, that's just my opinion, though. Oh, thank you so much. Oops. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for your $1.99 sticker. And, okay. Oops, pet time. Nope, not yet. Not pet time yet. So I've got Copper Horse's pets, Claire's pets. I've got CY's. I think I got one of your pets. So we'll do pet time here in about half hour. Okay. So Tom says, and he's a member for 2 months now, I think Ron Logan was involved and with help. All right. I don't think Ron Logan... well, yeah, we're going to talk about Ron Logan right now. So, for those that are new to the case, this is Ron Logan, 77-year-old man. His property is... pull up here. So his property kind of goes... kind of just basically, if you just followed this and just kind of cut to the thing here, it's kind of something like this, you know. But yeah, so they were found on his property here. His home with the detached garage here. And he's got horses and everything. They said that for a 77-year-old man, he was in good shape. But... you got to think, this guy was literally probably the first person that they have looked at. And so out of all the people that they've probably looked at, they've looked at Ron Logan probably the most. And so if anybody's been cleared and they've said Ron Logan's been cleared, I would say that, you know, it's more likely he is not the person that did it. But, you know, you can't fully rule him out either. So let me go back to my thing here. So I'm going to play a couple of interviews that were that he did, and we'll play the voice as well, just so you guys we'll match up the voice and his voice on the thing here. So let me see which one I'm going to play. So this one, where the bodies are found. So let's play this one first.
A new twist in the hunt for the killer of those two Indiana teenagers. Investigators executed a search warrant at the home of this man, Ron Logan, who owns the property where the bodies of 13-year-old Abigail Williams...
Now I will say, he's got the right height for it.
and Liberty German were found. Cops took away a white Ford pickup truck during the search.
Who is safe here or anywhere else anymore?
Ron Logan is now in custody on an unrelated probation violation. I recently spoke to him about the murders.
You just cannot believe this terrible thing that happened to the community and the families actually happened here on my property in my backyard.
He told me he has an alibi, buying tropical fish 20 miles away.
Yeah, I was not home during the time that all this was happening. I was in Lafayette, and I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission to look back here for the girls.
Liberty German shot this.
So for those that may not have heard, so with this affidavit, now obviously when they're going to do a search warrant, they gotta build a narrative that makes it look like he is the killer, you know, to be able to go in and have, you know, probable cause to search his property. So clearly in the search affidavit, if anybody's newer to this case and heard all the information that comes out, yeah, it's going to make him look like he's the killer, because that's how, you know, how they got to build the search warrant to, you know. And one of the things, obviously, a no-no is he had an alibi, but he literally called up a friend saying, hey, can you say that we were going to the pet store between this time and this time? And so, obviously that don't look good to have somebody make up an alibi for you, even though he did go there because there is receipt of him buying the fish or whatever at 5:30, I believe it was. Yeah. So I think that must have been a mistake. Ron Logan passed away in January 2020. That's right. Yeah, I maybe just a typo or something. That is interesting though.
Chilling image of the suspected killer approaching the girls on a hiking trail, and she recorded.
So let's I've got footage of him, I think, from the 14th as well, but I'll save that for just a minute. Let's do, as you guys love to do, let's do a voice comparison. Obviously, he's not saying guys down the hill, so I can't, compare it word for word, but let's just, for entertainment purposes, and I don't think Ron Logan's the killer, so, but we'll just play his voice and the audio at the same time. So let me set it up real quick here.
I was not home during the time that.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of let it play while he's talking.
Home during the time that all this was happening, I was in Lafayette. And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped and asked for permission to look back here for the girl.
Liberty German shot
Turn
this
it down just a
chilling
little.
image of the suspected killer.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped and asked for permission to look back here for the girl.
Liberty German shot this chilling image.
One more.
At the time that all this was happening, I was in Lafayette. And I
It's-
didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission.
Oh, does he say down the hill at the end of the clip?
Liberty German shot this chilling
Okay,
image
let's
of
finish the clip here.
suspected killer approaching the girls on a hiking trail, and she recorded the killer's voice.
What do you hear on there?
Nothing that I recognize at all. No one. I don't recognize the voice at all.
I asked Ron Logan to repeat those same chilling words.
Down the hill.
And that image of the suspect.
Interesting. All right.
And that image of the suspect.
Oops. Did I go back far enough?
Repeat those same chilling words.
Down the.
Okay, so at 123. Okay.
Down the hill.
And that image of the. I asked Ron Logan to repeat those same chilling words.
Down the hill.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, but I don't think it's him. It's not off. I don't think it's spot on either, but it's chilling. I don't think. Yeah, I think so too. Rainbow Bright had a more grave. Yeah, he's got something slightly different. Tom, and he has also been mentioned in the document that he went to the landfill the same day of the murder. He drove himself there. Yeah, I got to look more into that. That's interesting. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Logan has a smooth versus the killer's more raspy, for sure. Now, the raspy could be a combination of just poor audio, so do bear that in mind. But so here is an interview. Let's see, I've got three interviews, I think. Okay, so this one is done on the 14th, so this would be just
This is a small town up there in Carroll
after they
County.
found the bodies. So the thing would be is, does he look like, because obviously he's got a mustache. Well, I'll just play it and then we'll talk about it.
Still distraught over the loss of two of their own.
In fact, Eyewitness News reporter Emily Longnecker tonight continues our team coverage in Delphi with how people there continue to cope with the loss of Abby and Libby. Emily?
John and Andrea, people here in Delphi are cautious tonight about saying too much of anything. Many of them knew these two young girls and they know their families, and they are just finding it still very difficult to talk about what happened. On the outskirts of town, though, where police found the two teens' bodies, people are talking, sharing their disbelief and anger. Against the beauty of the sunshine and bright blue skies Wednesday, it was still hard for Ron Logan to believe the violence visited upon two young teens just out for a hike on a day off from school.
Who would have thought they'd let their children out?
So this is from what I recall, this was uploaded on the 14th, 2017. So this was the day they found the girls.
Out to do something special that day, take a trip down, and then turn out with a disaster like this.
For 53 years, Logan's lived on the country road near the trail that leads to the Monon High Bridge.
People walk up and down it with their children, and yeah, it's quite a nice little trail, and the bridge is really...
Never, though, has Logan seen anything like what he has this week. The search for an eventual discovery of the bodies of Libby German and Abby Williams.
The area that they were in is very hard to get to. I mean, you can't get there unless you walk there. I mean, so somebody would be walking with them or something.
Those are the same kind of thoughts Marvin Sandifer keeps mulling over. His daughter used to hike the same trail.
She said, I've seen a couple scruffy-looking guys back in there, but, you know, they never bothered me. They went on their way.
Sandifer is...
I'm going to play that back. Interesting.
On their way.
Sandifer is anxious.
Couple scruffy-looking guys back.
Mulling over. His daughter used to hike the same trail.
She said, I've seen a couple scruffy-looking guys back in there, but, you know, they never bothered me. They went on their way.
Sandifer is anxious for investigators to identify a suspect.
I'm not really scared. I'm just worried that it would happen again.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Yeah, I'd lean more towards that, Lynn. Bridge guy is not a white-haired old man with a mustache. I mean, we can't say for sure, but I tend to agree with that, in my opinion, as well.
Knows or saw something on that trail Monday and can lead investigators down the right path soon.
I hope they catch them tonight, and I hope they make them pay.
And with the release tonight of the picture of that unknown man seen walking on the trail Monday afternoon, people here are hoping investigators...
So yeah, keep this in mind that this was taken of Ron Logan on the 14th, from what I understand. It was uploaded on the 14th. I'm assuming this is the interview from the 14th. So he looks like he's just wearing the same thing he's always wearing. Which is interesting because it actually kind of depicts. So I'd almost think if you were like the killer, I don't think you'd be wearing some kind of camo hat and blue coat that just kind of fits in with what Bridge Guy was wearing. But that's just my opinion. So one more interview here. So this is before we go over the affidavit stuff. This is from. Kind of asking the locals what they think of all this stuff coming out. Because, with the Keegan Klein stuff, that was kind of broken. Everybody was kind of thinking, all right, these guys could be it. And now with this information, which is even kind of older information than the Keegan Klein and Tony Klein, a lot of people that might be newer to the case might think, oh, this guy's it. And he still could be, but I don't think so.
Inviting us in tonight, a leaked document for the early days of the Delphi investigation gives new insight into where investigators had their focus immediately after the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. A sealed search.
Yeah, that is interesting, Michelle. I like that, Michelle Roth. I want to hear the guy's part because BG drags the S. That is interesting. That's a good point. He does.
Warrant obtained and revealed through a podcast shares grim details about the crime scene and the police interest in the man who owned the property where those two teen girls were found. Tonight, our Lauren Kostick begins our big story by explaining why police thought he may have been responsible.
Well, this is the home and property that is mentioned in this latest leaked document. It was home to Ronald Logan before he passed away in 2020. And it's also where police found the bodies of Abby and Libby more than 5 years ago. And even though this document is from 2017, it's giving new details that were never released before. Back in March 2017, 13 News was there when FBI searched Logan's property. We also spoke with him multiple times, and he even walked us back to the crime scene.
I can't.
Now, if you look how he's walking down that hill, he's kind of going down gingerly. So whoever killed these girls were definitely physical and were in shape. So do bear that in mind, because there is a lot of terrain that the group went down, going down two banks, steep banks, and then going across a creek, and then there's not much. Most of the bank walls are at least like 3 to 5 feet tall, where there's just a small section that kind of ramps up, but most of it's kind of like you got to climb up. And there's plenty of videos out there of people kind of going out there. And so I think whoever this guy is he definitely was in shape for sure.
Really wrap my emotions around it. It's just so mind-boggling. I haven't really caught up. It hasn't caught up with me.
True.
But recently, the podcast Murder Sheet obtained the sealed warrant. In the request, the FBI agent wrote, "I believe there is probable cause to believe that Ronald Logan has committed the crime of murder, and the evidence of that could be found on Ronald Logan's property." The agent then went on to detail why, saying Logan asked a relative to create a fake alibi for him for the afternoon that the girls were reported missing. There was also cell tower data that tracked his phone to the crime scene. Plus, investigators interviewed 2 women who had been in a relationship with Logan, and both reported that he was physically abusive. While investigators continue to track down leads, the community hasn't given up hope. Posters remain in many downtown windows, a constant reminder of this unsolved case.
It just feels like yesterday, to be honest with you. I mean, 5 years is not a long time at all. And it's in our faces every single day. We see the same people we associate with, people that are close to them.
And like so many in Delphi, Omar Ruiz has learned not to jump to conclusions when new details are released.
I can't make speculation.
Sorry to pause that. Tom says, I wonder what his business was at the landfill. Was it an often occurrence? His age is the only thing that makes me think he would need assistance. Yeah, and I if you followed me, I really don't think 2 people are involved. Maybe, I think if 2 people are involved, there was maybe like a getaway driver, and that getaway driver is probably buried in that killer's backyard somewhere. That would be my opinion if there was 2 people involved. But I don't think there was 2 people at the scene, like, killing them, in my opinion. But just because I just think the likelihood would just ramp up 2 times more, that they would have caught them sooner. And I just wanted to share one more. Sorry, I might have to slow down the chat. This is how everybody walks down on a steep hill with leaves on it. Ron is not creaky. He works on a horse farm. True. I do not read Ron as a week-old guy, not at all. Come to Maine, 75 is strong and young. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like I said, they say he was in good shape for his age, so no argument there. I mean, it just looked like he was kind of going down gingerly. I mean, I'd have to see him walk more clearly. But like I said, they said he was in shape for his age, so.
And I can't say he did or he didn't. It's one of those things that, once again, we're a community. We try to stick together as much as possible.
The leaked document also gave new information about the crime scene, saying one of the victims was missing an article of clothing. There were no visible signs of a struggle or fight. Investigators also recovered fibers and unidentified hairs, and it also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. No matter how much time passes, the community isn't giving up, knowing someone knows something.
It's going to be solved. You know what I mean? It's going to be solved.
And to be clear, police have not charged Logan with this crime or named him as a suspect in this case.
Now let's put this leaked search warrant in context of the entire investigation. It starts when Abby and Libby go missing February 13th, 2017, and just one day later, February 14th of 2017.
So yes, all I have to say is an argument to those who may think it is Ron Logan. Clearly he's like the first person they looked at, and have probably looked at the most. So I think if they'd be pretty sure who or who is not the killer. I would say, Ron Logan is more likely not than is the killer. Let me see. Let me pull up his the side-by-side one more time, though. So, with the older sketch, I mean, he don't have the hooded eyes. The mustache, they got the thin goatee and mustache on this one here. Oops, let me stretch this out a little bit. But the nose is kind of different. He's got the kind of the long bridge nose, but it's not like a bulbous nose, which he's kind of got here. And then the new guy sketch clearly is... This is why I just have so much problem with the two sketches. They just need to come out and explain, They say it's the same guy, but I think they need to expand on, like, what's going on. Is it just because it's just two different witnesses that they just, one witness was much younger and the other witness was not older, and so like when they see the same person, the age, they're kind of gonna get it wrong just because they're kind of it's when a young person tries to gauge an older person's age and vice versa, it may be not as accurate when it's like when you're gauging someone your age, you can kind of, I'd assume you're going to be more accurate. So that's Suzanne Steven. Wait, Chris, where did you get this information? All this new information that we're going over, this is leaked. I guess you'd say leaked. This is from a search warrant from Ron Logan's property, and so when they do a search warrant, they have to build a narrative, and we're going to go into that now here in just a minute. This came out from the murder sheet. One of them is a lawyer, and I don't know if both of them are. I know the one is. And so I guess when you're a lawyer, you can get more access to certain documents. And so I guess they got a hold of this document, which is interesting because this has got to be the document that Down the Hill podcast Robert McDonald must have got a hold of for sure, because this is the document that says it's got 43-second video on it, and that the guy bridge guy encountered the girls at 2:13. So I believe this stuff must have came from this affidavit for sure. Tom Ann says if it's him, it seems something would else similar in the same area would have occurred at one point or another. Something like the Iowa incident. Agreed. Would have occurred at one point or another. Something like the Iowa incident. Yeah. See, I got one more. Oh, Digital says I heard Ron gave it to HLN. I don't know. I have no idea on how they got it. I'm just assuming this is the document they used to when they, it said, oh, it's 43 seconds, and with the fifth year anniversary where they had, like, was it 3 or 4 different new things that we were gonna learn, but we were expecting some more new, something kind of bigger to help us, but they really didn't release much. So, all right. So before I play the murder sheet, so how many people do we have in here? Can somebody, my viewer count? Oh, we got 583. Do we want to take calls first, or should I play the murder sheet first? Kind of, I don't know. Maybe we'll play the murder sheet and then we'll take calls. So let's do a quick halftime real quick. So, I donate to the Humane Society, so I like to show viewers pets. If you would like to have your pet shown on a future live show, just email me. My mods will drop my email link. And just email me a picture of your pet and the name and your YouTube name if you can and the subject. And then I'll feature them in a future live show. So this is from Claire. This is Oslo. Then we got Copper Horse, who I'm sorry I've been dying to get to. This is, I believe, Bobby Z. She's got a lot of animals. I love it. So this is Bobby Z. She's got a lot of Maine Coon cats. I love Maine Coons. They're so precious. This is, I think Chelsea, I could have got this name wrong, so correct me on this one, Copper Horse, but just beautiful dog. Oh, I love how she's with the lights. I'm not sure if I got the Chelsea name right on that one. This is from Seawise. We've got the white and gray is Mooney, and the other one is Maisie. Just hanging out, napping on each other. Then we got, so this is Maisie. Thank you, Seawise, for sending those in. And this is, I can't tell if this is Maisie or Mooney. It looks gray, so that's Mooney, I believe. And then this is from Foot Wedge, Onyx. Beautiful black cat. Oh, it just looks like a little jaguar. Oh my goodness. This is from Shop 420. This is Milo. Oh, looks like he passed away. So you got Milo and Dane. Apparently they're twins. Or he says they're twins anyway. Oh, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And, oh, that's cute. Here's the big one. So we got Silver Bell, Steel Harley, and Magnolia. Oh, that's such a cute picture. Oh my gosh, they're so identical. So cute. So those are Maine Coons. Very fluffy. I've had a Maine Coon. One of the ways you can tell they're a Maine Coon is they got these M's on their head. A lot of cats have them, but they're a little more thicker with Maine Coons. So that's like you kind of tell. And if you emailed me some pets and I haven't shown them, and you're for sure I haven't shown them, then go ahead and resend them. Sometimes I get backed up on emails, so I apologize. I wish I could hire somebody just to help me with my emails. Okay, so we'll play the murder sheet because I've asked permission to play their content, and kind of promote it a little bit. So we'll play a little bit of their stuff, and then we'll take calls for the second part of the show. So, to kind of get your guys' thoughts on what you think with this new information coming out. So let me get to the right spot here. Let me minimize that. I just resent 2 of my dogs. Okay, Michelle. Awesome. Sweet. The more the merrier. So I'm going to play. So I'm going to try not to focus too much on the Ron Logan thing, since kind of Gislip from True Crime kind of went over Ron Logan stuff. So we'll dabble into it a little bit, but we'll play about 10, 20 minutes somewhere in there of some of this new release stuff that's pretty fascinating. And they kind of give their opinions on some of the stuff in between reading this search warrant. And then we'll take some calls and see what you guys think here, because I haven't taken some calls for a while. So let me find that spot where they just start reading the affidavit here.
The victims were to be picked up by a family member at 3 p.m., and the victims never met with the family member.
Okay, so this is a good spot. So they're just kind of giving a little bit of context to the girls. Actually, let me go a little more forward, actually. So we're not...
Indiana Code 354211.
2. A suspect has been developed of a white male wearing a blue jacket with a heavy physical build, wearing a cap and blue jeans. The development of this suspect was made by a 43-second video taken on LG's phone, where the suspect follows the victims as they are walking on the Monon High Bridge Trail. Near the end of the video, the suspect speaks to the victims, saying, "Down the hill." It sounds as though he is directing the victims to leave the trail they were on and enter the wooded area below. No person has come forward and identified himself as the person who met the victims and made the statement in LG's video. Therefore, it is believed that the person in LG's video participated in the killings. Images of the suspect have been broadcast on the news media since February 15th, 2017, as a person of interest.
3. LG and AW are presumed to have made contact with the unknown male at approximately 2:13 p.m.
So they're kind of going over bullet points of this kind of some of the stuff that I just went over kind of earlier about like the new information that's being released. So these are kind of the bullet points that they're going over right now. And so I only went over a few. So there'll be some ones that I haven't gone over yet.
Based upon analysis of LG's cell phone, which recorded the video.
4. On February 14th, 2017, at approximately 12:17 p.m., victims LG and AW were found dead with wounds caused by a weapon on the property owned by Ronald Logan. A large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene. Because of the nature of the victim's wounds, it is nearly certain the perpetrator of the crime would have gotten blood on his person/clothing. The location of the crime scene is approximately 1,400 feet from Logan's residence.
Now we come to the part of the affidavit with the author, Special Agent of the FBI Nicole Robertson, explains why she specifically believes Ronald Logan is tied to the murders.
5. Logan is a 77-year-old male. Logan's physical build is consistent with that of the male suspect videoed by LG on the Monon High Bridge Trail. Logan owns farmland and cares for large farm animals. Logan appears to be in good physical condition. Logan has been interviewed several times. His voice is not inconsistent with that of the person in the video.
The author of the affidavit now turns to detailing information about the crime scene itself, and in doing so, she reveals more information that has not previously been released to the public.
6. It was also discovered that articles of clothing of one of the victims were missing from the crime scene, while the rest of their clothing was recovered. It also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. Based upon my training and experience, it is common for perpetrators of this type of crime to take a souvenir, or in some fashion, memorialize the crime scene, whether by photos or electronic or digital methods that are then downloaded onto computers, storage devices, tablets, phones, iPad devices, or other electronic devices that store digital data for later viewing, scanning, or copying.
7. LG and AW had no visible signs of a struggle or fight.
Yeah, so that's the one that I went over. The girls apparently did not put up a fight, which was, I guess, contradictory to one of the leaked texts from David Eskers. And then the one before with the crime scene being memorialized. And then there's going to be one more they're going to go into, and I'll expand on the rumor just a little bit.
8. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators located unknown fibers and unidentified hairs, which may later be used for comparison of similar fibers or hairs.
There is much to digest here. The killer may have taken articles of clothing from one of the victims. That could point to a sexual motivation behind the killings. It could also be an attempt at misdirection, or perhaps the articles of clothing were simply lost. We also want to note this line. It also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. What does this mean? It is important to stress that this does not have to mean that the bodies were moved a great distance.
So one of the rumors, there's two big ones about how it was staged. We've heard like the sexual tableau from the leaker texts. And then the other one that I've heard is it was staged to make it look like what it wasn't. And apparently the rumor is that basically it was staged to look like a murder-suicide, if that makes sense. So the killer made it look like the one girl killed the other girl and then she took her own life. That's been a rumor since like day one, basically. So it's interesting.
Perhaps they were only moved in a minimal fashion in order to carry out the staging. We obviously don't know how the bodies were staged, but generally, when victims' corpses are staged, it means that the killer is trying to make it look like the crime was something it was not. For instance, someone may try to make a murder look like a suicide. Or, the staging could point to something even more sinister. On April 22nd, 2019, investigators from the Indiana State Police, the FBI, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, and the Delphi Police organized a press conference where they unveiled a new sketch. During that event, ISP Superintendent Doug Carter said to the murderer, "I believe you have just a little bit of conscience left. I can assure you that how you left them in those woods is not what they are experiencing today." That could point to post-mortem staging done with the intent to humiliate or degrade the victims.
Yeah, and I've heard the degrading, obviously we will not even go there, but I've heard the degrading one as well, which I guess would kind of land more with the sexual tableau, with the leaker, I guess. That would kind of fit into that one. It's really been kind of that one, with the other one being that apparently the murder-suicide. And I believe, like, they said that they had left maybe like a knife in one of the girl's hands or something like that, and placed him to look like it was just, like I said, a murder-suicide. And it was, yeah.
Or upset the first responders who came upon their bodies. Again, we do not know how these bodies were staged or what the intent of that staging was. All we can say is that the staging, whatever it was, clearly did not fool investigators. They recognized it for what it was.
But, again, the intent of this affidavit is not to reveal details about the crime scene. The purpose instead is to connect Ronald Logan to this crime, and to establish the need for a search of his property.
Yeah, I'm sorry to stop that real quick, but yeah, I am really curious. I also wondered if the hairs or fibers were dog hairs and if perhaps they had anything to do with how things played out. Yeah, I would love to know what kind of fibers, because they mention hair fibers, and then they talk about, I believe in the affidavit, about searching for animal hair and stuff like that. So I would think that'd be very fascinating if they did have some animal hair. Of course, human hair would be great from the killer, but it would help if they did, if the killer did have an animal and he had hair from that animal on him, that they could find him that way.
We now come back to the subject of Logan. But we note that we will be removing the names of the people mentioned in this document.
9. Logan owns numerous weapons, including handguns and knives that were observed by LEOs during the execution of a search warrant that took place at his home on March 6, 2017. Logan's home was searched as a result of a probation violation. The search was limited to the discovery of firearms and included only his main residence.
10. On February 14, 2017, at approximately 9:20 a.m., Logan contacted man number 1. Logan asked man number 1 to tell the police that man number 1 came to Logan's home between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. on February 13, 2017, to pick Logan up. Logan further told man number 1 to say that
Grizzly True Crime, lots of love to the mob crew. Thank you. It's 2:11 in the morning in the Netherlands. We'll watch the rest of the episode over coffee in the morning. Thank you so much, Gisla. Show Gisla some love. Staying up late to watch, support my channel. That's so amazing. I'm just humbled to have met her, and like I said, her community and my community. It's the best community. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful night. So moving on, we'll play a little bit more, and then we'll take a few phone calls.
Man number 1 drove Logan to an aquarium store in Lafayette, Indiana. Logan told man number 1 to say they returned home to Logan's house between 5 p.m. and 5:30 p.m.
11. On February 14th, 2017, while requesting consent to search Logan's property, a law enforcement officer, LEO, advised Logan that LEOs would not search his home unless evidence led LEOs to Logan's house. In that meeting, Logan told the LEO that he did not think evidence would lead them to that, but said, "I don't know."
12. A receipt from Aquarium World in Lafayette, dated February 13, 2017, with a checkout time of 5:21 p.m., was found in Logan's home on March 6, 2017, during a probation violation search. Logan resides approximately 22 miles from the store. It would take approximately 30 minutes to get to the store from Logan's home.
13. On March 6, 2017, during an interview with an LEO, Logan said he was picked up by man number 1 around 3 p.m. and taken straight to the aquarium store in Lafayette. In the March 6, 2017 interview, Logan said after he was done at the aquarium store, he was driven straight home. These statements were found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive LEOs.
So one of the theories is why he did that. So you got to think, they're looking for... so on the first day of the February 13th, the girls are just still missing. They haven't found the bodies. And obviously they come to his house because, it's in the area, and ask, hey, I've seen these girls. And, I'm not sure exactly the contents. But... and then you've got the next day where they're still missing and they're still out there searching. And I think, and I've heard, this is just speculation though, but maybe he just kind of, panicked and figured, you know what, they're going to be, looking to me, they're going to be coming back to me no matter what, for more information. So maybe he wanted to solidify an alibi, just because he kind of panicked, not being smart about it. And, just a theory, but, maybe he just kind of panicked and, realized that, hey, they're going to be looking at me anyway. So I'm just going to kind of, I did go to the store apparently because there's a receipt of it. So maybe he's just kind of extending that time frame, even though maybe he wasn't there and could have been on the property at some point during the attack. But yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents on it.
14. On March 7, 2017, man number 1 was interviewed by a LEO. Man number 1 told the LEO that he was with Logan on Monday, February 13, 2017, and that man number 1 drove Logan to the aquarium store in Lafayette. On March 9, 2017, man number 1 was interviewed by another LEO regarding the trip to the aquarium. Man number 1 told the LEO that he had lied when he was interviewed by the LEO on March 7, 2017, at Logan's request. Man number 1 explained that Logan had never asked man number 1 to lie for him in the past. Man number 1 knows that Logan has driven his vehicle while on probation is prohibited from doing so. Man number 1 also said that Logan did not ask him to lie for Logan when Logan drove to the transfer station earlier in the day.
15. On March 12th, 2017, man number 1 explained in an interview to an LEO that Logan called him on the morning of February 14th, 2017, and asked him to provide the alibi for Logan's drive to the aquarium in Lafayette. This phone call was made prior to LEO's discovery of LG and AW's deceased bodies.
So yeah, that's the big thing is like, you know, he established this alibi before they even found the girls. So that obviously that's red flags everywhere. I mean, whether he did it or not, that's just clearly that would probably be one of the, not only just establishing an alibi or a fake alibi, I should say, but to do it before they found the bodies, you know, yes, that I would say that was probably be the biggest red flag. I definitely get that. But like I said, I don't think he did it. And, you know, like I said, this is really just old news. We're just learning it. Us, the public, you know, it's new information, but really it's just been out there. And I think, you know, I'm sure they've looked into Ron Logan many, many times, and I'm sure it's a strong possibility that it's not him.
Based on investigators' experience, it is reasonable to believe that the creation of an alibi prior to the discovery of a crime indicates culpability or knowledge of the crime.
This seems to be a key point for Special Agent Nicole Robertson. Logan asked for an alibi before the crime was even discovered. Clearly a sign of guilt. But there is a complicating factor here. First of all, even though the bodies of the girls had not yet been discovered, police were still going around asking all sorts of questions about where people were the day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tom, man. Ron Logan background PDF in your email. All right, buddy. I'll see if I can maybe pull that up if I can.
Before, and what they'd been doing. And whether or not Logan was involved with the murders, we do know for a fact that he did have a secret, something he very much wanted to hide. He had driven himself to that aquarium store, and that was a violation of his probation. And, of course, this is exactly what Logan asked man number 1 to lie about. Logan wanted the man to claim that he drove Logan there, instead of Logan driving himself to the store.
16. Man number 1 said he thought the photograph of the mail that was released by the media of the man on the bridge looked like Logan.
Now, there would be approximately like 15 different people that supposedly identified him to be the bridge guy. I think, you know, I think that would be easy. I can see why that would be, because let's just take a look at his, I mean, half the time you see him, he's wearing some kind of camo hat and a blue shirt. So I could see exactly why people would be like, you know, they see this and then, oh, let's see, where do I get the video? Oh, it's just went back. So I could easily see why people are like, oh, well, that kind of looks like Ron Logan because he has a green camo hat and his blue shirt and his Levi's on. So I could see easily why there's all these people that say, oh, that's Ron Logan. And you know what? If you're the killer and clearly this guy knows the place, has scouted this place, probably knows Ron Logan, and probably seen his outfit, maybe this outfit was almost to kind of set him up. And if you really think about it, I mean, if you see a lot of Ron Logan's interviews, you know, he's kind of got this typical look. And so maybe this was an extra step to kind of really conceal himself and to kind of maybe try to frame somebody at the same time, you know, in a certain fashion. But I think it would just be dumb to, you know, be caught on camera And then obviously Ron Logan wouldn't have known that in the beginning. But to be still wearing that stuff, I don't think so. A U.S. murder sheet is fine, but they always manage to be annoying. Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to play a little bit more and then we'll take some phone calls. Because since, a lot of this stuff's kind of been gone over since, it's been out there for a couple of days now. But it's kind of interesting. I've never really thought about it like that way, though. When you kind of look at him, I mean, obviously it's tough to say what kind of exact hat it is. I mean, it could have a bill on it. It might be one of those kind of, with the ear flaps. And like I said, I am going out to do another test. So as you got some of you know, I've been trying to recreate kind of bridge guy walk. These were just early tests. I knew I didn't go out there. The first 2 times I went out there, it wasn't like super serious because I knew I was going to make mistakes. And so I'm like, I don't want to go like full in like the first couple times. I'll just kind of learn like what I can improve on and how it's going to look. So the first 2 times was just to see how it was going to look. Haunted parlor. Oh, I got to read that. RL is going to haunt murder sheet host. That's kind of funny. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. So, yeah. He's wearing such scruffy, worn-looking jeans, almost like he's displaced. Yeah, I doubt he's a homeless person. I doubt that. No, I think this guy is smart. Clearly, maybe some psychopath or sociopath, but I think this guy is just somebody that's just blending in plain sight, and it's kind of like BTK, where he could just blend in, have a family, even, and turn it on and turn it off, I guess, or I don't know how, because he went 5 years without doing stuff, and longer. So, yeah, you guys, should we do some calls? Let's, since I think most of you guys heard this stuff, let me set up my call here. So now I don't have the fancy like multiple lines or anything, so I just ask everybody to be polite, and when I post this, if you try to call and it's busy, just kind of wait. I don't know, maybe we'll have to develop a system. I'm going to try to get, the more I start doing this, because I've got some plans coming down the pipeline here soon about having some hosts on and doing some extra things, having some other people. Oh, you guys are already... I already got my number up. Sweet. Okay, so the number's up. It's going to be interesting because I've got my new setup. I have not taken a call yet from this setup, so I'm hoping everything's all set up right. So I should probably go into settings right now. So if you want to call... I'm hoping everything is set up right. Okay, microphone, boom, speakers. Yep. Okay, I think we got it all set up. All right, well, we'll see if we can take some calls. Let's see, what was I gonna show? So let's go. And here's just the footage again, just get an idea of the land. So like I said, this was taken February 14th. Clearly they've found the bodies by the time this helicopter has gotten here. Because there's clearly, you can see the crime scene tape is up. So I think they just must have found the bodies when this because there's 2 helicopters. And maybe they'd been here for a little while and just started filming. It just kind of gives you an idea of the area. But like I said, I've been kind of watching this on just super slow-mo, just kind of checking all the vehicles and just seeing if anything stood out. Seems like he may have known Ron Logan really well. If this is true, he wore his clothes and left them on. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Tom. It's one thing I've actually never kind of thought about it that way. Now looking at, kind of what Ron Logan wears, 2 interviews, he's kind of wearing kind of the same thing, definitely the same hat. So, yeah, nope. His jacket is full of things, white loop sticking out of the top, looks like a plastic. Yeah, so I'm going to try to figure out what that is. That's a great question. So, because witnesses that helped produce this sketch here said that they had seen a man with a scarf over his face. So I think it's quite a good possibility that this is actually a scarf tucked down. My 2 biggest theories on what that white thing is either a scarf or if you have a brown hoodie under it, and you know how your hoodie has the strings coming out, if they were white strings, maybe they could have been like the white strings kind of hanging out, somewhat funky. But I think it's a little thick for hoodie strings to be kind of really not thick, but it could just be the angle of the view. I'm not sure. Oh, I know one thing while we're waiting for a caller. Let me know if you tried to call and it didn't work. Like I said, phone line is open, I think. I know something that I did want to show you guys. And where did I put it? There it is. Okay. So I think what he's doing, so this is oh my gosh, I want to say 48 frames. I forget the exact number again. Yeah, old guys wear the same type of outfit every day. I wonder if any of his drinking buddies are on the suspect list. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're a rancher, Levi's for sure is going to be something. A hat, I think for sure it's just kind of a certain style. Might be nylon rope if he had ill intentions, for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah. So this is something I wanted to show you guys. So I think what's going on here, maybe I should pull up the still image first and then I'll play the video. But I want you guys to look at this and see if you can kind of, this is something that I noticed. So let's just take this one here. All right, I think, so what's going on is, so either brown hoodie or deer kit, whatever this is, his hand I don't think is in the pocket of, if it is a hoodie, I don't think it's in the pocket, and I don't think his hand is in the pocket of the blue jacket. I think what it is he's got the gun and it's actually like this, just but obviously at the edge of the jacket, if that, hopefully you guys can see that. But I think that's what he's got, is he's actually about to pull this gun out. And so it's, and let me just play the video now so you guys can see. But try just picturing that, see if you guys see if you guys can picture that. Him just having the gun kind of under the blue coat. because it's not, his hand doesn't really match to make it into the, if this was a brown hoodie, it doesn't really fit up as well. And it certainly seems lower to be in the pocket, because you would think his hand would be more back to be in the pocket up front here. So I think it's just quite, he's got the gun just barely tucked under this and is actually just about to like pull it out. And that's why we only get this little quick clip, because he's about to just, you know, brandish it on the girls. But you can kind of see a crease, you know, right here. And I know it's, you can see so many different details depending on the position. So, I mean, there's so many different things that people are going to see. But, I don't know. I've been watching it recently, and it just kind of seems like it kind of fits that, where he's just about to pull this gun out. And then, obviously, if you've, some of my previous shows, I've talked about, you know, it's always bothered me. Why don't they show, you know, not all the video, but the video at least of him, like, until he goes out of frame. Clearly, there's got to be a little bit more of him in the footage until she, because, you know, we know this is at the starting of the 43 seconds. And eventually, phone does go into the pockets. So you would think, obviously, he would be in frame, and then obviously the camera would just kind of pan down, and he would just kind of come out of frame. But we don't see that. We only just see this, you know, this little clip, you know, replayed over and over. But, and I think that was just because he is just about to pull out that weapon, but they didn't want people to know that information as far as the gun. John Little. So the FBI think is Logan, and ISP is looking for the young guy. No, I don't know about that. You can see the outline of the semi-auto pistol plain as day. It never moves. Yeah. Yeah, you can see something. You know, I'm not saying that's the gun. I think it is. But I always kind of was debating whether he had his hand kind of in the, if this was a brown hoodie, he kind of had it in that pocket. But I really think he's just kind of got it right under this jacket right here. And you can actually kind of see something form right here. But that's just my opinion. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Much later. Yeah, we've talked about that too. Wonder if he had a fake badge. Yeah, so one of the speculations, and this goes along with the leaker text, is that some of the words that are exchanged is that he tells the girls that they're trespassing. Now, this is just rumor. This is complete rumor. But he tells the girls that they are trespassing and they need to follow him. And, you know, he's going to escort them, you know, wherever. And so, but what we do know from the audio is that we haven't heard is that he does pull out a gun, and Abby says that. He says, "Is that a gun?" He's got a gun. And then that's, you know, when he says guys, and then hey guys, and then he catches up to him, and now he's kind of escorting him and then down the hill. So but yeah, has anyone tried to call? I'm just curious to see if if this is working. Conflicting rumors abound. Oh yeah. Conflicting rumors. Oh yeah. I mean, it's been 5 years, USA. I mean, of course, there's going to be just up to yin yang. How tall is Tony Klein? I think the guy is taller than people think. Was TK in good shape? So Tony Klein is apparently, well, his son says Tony Klein is 5'11". But this is the thing. So he says he's 5'11", and then apparently when Kagan was booked, he put his height at 6 feet. But I think it's reversed. I think that Tony Klein is more likely 6 feet. Yeah, 6 or 6'1", and Kagan is like 5'11". So I think he's just quite above that. Did my call-in number change? No. Here, let me put it up. Five, 6. Yeah, just put. Hey Tom, can I call you, buddy? Even if you just want to talk for 2 seconds, let me. I'm just gonna see if it rings. Okay. I'm just gonna call Tom real quick. If you don't pick up, Tom, that's fine, buddy. I just wanted to make sure it was ringing. No, the number shouldn't have changed. Hello. Hey, Tom. Sorry, buddy. I was just checking to see if my phone was working on this Google Voice. Oh. Yeah, so the phone lines... Does anyone try to call? Does it not ring or something? Maybe something we might need to work on the side here. 435-612. Yeah, I'm not sure. Why don't we... I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to play my halftime video for you guys. One last time. So I've got a new intro and a new halftime video for you guys. I'm going to release this weekend. One of the reasons I'm changing the intro is because some people are confused on the intro. They think when I'm talking about missing persons, they're thinking I'm actually trying to, like, those are the missing persons of the day. So I could get why people are getting confused on that. So I'm going to not do that anymore. Is that the halftime? Okay. So we're going to do the halftime show real quick. Even though we're towards the end of the show. We got a call. Sweet. Okay.
Call from. Hi, this is Lynn. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, hi.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi, it worked. I called just to check and see if it was working for you.
Awesome. Oh, you're so sweet. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
There's a lot of new information out, huh?
It is a lot of new information, and it's definitely stirring up some Ron Logan controversy. I knew that was going to happen, but yeah, I personally don't think he'd done it, just because I think they've probably looked at him more than any other person. So I think if they cleared him, I think they're pretty good. I'm sure they have their reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, all of a sudden now information is being leaked, and now it's in public. But the police didn't make any statement saying that, telling them not to. So it must be okay.
Yeah. And yeah, apparently, yeah, this because this affidavit has been out there, and I guess how it became acquired is when he passed away. I guess that's how they were able to obtain this, because I'd seen something on Reddit months ago when he passed away, that when people were trying to file this FOA, Freedom of Information Act, to get a hold of that particular search warrant, because they have heard of it, but and figured, this search warrant would obviously hold some details, because obviously you're going to build a search warrant, you have to provide those details that are in the, in the crime scene or whatever, to build a narrative to say, hey, this is why we think he's the killer.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it was in 2017, very early in the case, and it was relevant back then.
Yeah.
Most of the information, and when you look at it now, it doesn't really reflect 2022 after 5 years of investigating. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some of it is facts, and you can't dispute that.
Sure.
Because it was written down. But
yeah.
He was in jail for, I think, 4 years, 2 to 4 years. You would think that they would have had all his DNA and everything else before he came out of jail, to even let him out of jail. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If they have him in jail, they're not going to let him out of jail. They're going to, research.
Yeah.
And investigate him while he's in jail. So
Sure.
they let him out, and it must have been okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said,
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. It's a touchy subject when you go over persons of interest, and obviously I'm not a local, and I know I can't imagine being there in local town, and these are actually people's neighbors. These are people they see every day or every other day. So it's tough to bring up these kind of scenarios with these persons of interest, and bringing like I said, Ron Logan into the picture, and then of course he's dead, so he can't defend himself.
Right. So. And well, a couple of years ago, when Robert Ives had come out in a interview, and he had already mentioned most of those things about the signatures and the staging. I don't know if you heard that video.
I have.
But okay. It's similar to what the warrant is all about too.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of same information.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's just kind of like I said. Some of this information has been basically what we would call rumored, and now it's just kind of solidified it as fact since with the Robert Ives interview, and so we're just getting a little more tidbits here and there. So, but my biggest thing is Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. Say
what
you wanted to say.
Yeah, I just wish they would clarify these two sketches. I feel when I made a video about it last week, with the DNA and phenotyping, I get a lot of comments, and I see it all the time. It's like a lot of people doubt these sketches. They feel like they're useless, and it's sad to hear that, because this is what's supposed to help us help law enforcement. But if people don't believe in it, then how's that going to help the case?
That's true. We have to follow what they give us for evidence.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say I should probably let you go so someone else can call in,
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm happy you called in, because now I know it works. The audio works great. Sounds like everybody can hear us good. So thank you, Lynn, so much for calling and taking the time to watch my channel.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You
Bye.
too, sweetie. Bye-bye. Okay, phone lines are working. I was playing the dance and she called. If someone else wants to call, let me know. And if you're trying to call and it doesn't go through, maybe put it in the chat so I can gauge on how many people are going to call. Because we'll go for about 20 more minutes and then we'll probably end it here so it's not too long. I'm sure Printer Sheets will put their name all over it. Are you talking about documents? Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah, you put your watermark on the documents you release. Yeah, I know. That's oh, Lady M. Hello, Lady M. So glad to see you in here. I hope you're doing better. That is awesome. Oops. So many people look like that sketch. Even the mom. Oh, no. So many people look like that sketch. Oh, you're talking about the one on the right. Yeah, it is just kind of it really just, other than the kind of a bigger jaw. But yeah, it really is just kind of a bland sketch, I guess. Nothing that really... This sticks out. Like, this sketch sticks out, you know. But this one just seems... Just... Yeah. I just missed something. Tony Klein's background sent. He's 6... Okay, so he's 6 feet. So, yeah, so that's what I said. Tony, yeah, 6 feet. But look at the email. He uses his son's name as an email address. Oh, interesting. Yeah, they use, the Anthony, like the middle name, and, yeah. Interesting, though. Yeah, Mr. Christian, generic-looking guy, exactly. If I had more time, I'd pull up other sketches. And there's always something about police sketches that kind of like stand out, and there's something that you can take away from. Oh no. Oh no. I think it looks like GH. Oh no. Yeah. Now, yeah, sketches are sketchy, and they are they say 9% accurate. So if you rounded that up a little bit, you would say every 1 in every 10 sketches is accurate. You know, it's really kind of made to be like, there's one thing that you would take from the sketch, you know, like the big nose. Because, you know, we don't remember, you know, all that information, you know, but usually we would pick out something, you know, like, oh, he had funny ears, or he had a big nose. Yeah, Jerry Anthony Klein, yes. Yep. There's another one. He, in the family, he actually is in jail, but he was in jail before the murders for kind of the similar kind of stuff. And I think his name was Jerry. And weird conspiracy channels that popped up all over this particular case all over the years. Yeah. Thank you, Divine Retribution. All right, phone line's open. We'll leave it open for about 10 more minutes. Let's see. What was... Well, let me do my halftime dance, because this will probably be the last time I show it. So... Let's, even though we're at the end of the show, let's do it just for, let's see, did I have it going? Oh, I did have it going. Okay, we'll just play it for where we left it. Oops, sorry if it's a little loud. Alright, we'll start at the beginning. All right. Just smash that like button. Don't try those moves at home, people. I've had a lot of practice. Might hurt yourself. Thank you guys for the donations. John, excuse me. John Little, thank you for the $5. And where's the other one? Karina the Dreamer. Thank you. Thank you so much for your $2 super sticker. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll leave the phone line up for a couple more minutes. If not, I think we'll call it. Maybe one more caller. Oh, thank you so much, Alice of Legend. Thank you so much. And thanks to the Grizzlies. Like I said, we have a lot of the same community, so it's really nice just to be able to kind of transition back and forth and have the same group of people, you know. It's really nice. And then, you know, because we're drama-free, she's drama-free, and, you know, and we love to have people share their thoughts and theories. Just, you know, we just ask, just try to do it appropriately and responsibly, so it's easier on the mods, so they don't have to, you know, and try not to use swear words because obviously it pre-flags, YouTube pre-flags them. So, all right, hey, we got another caller. So let's take it.
Call from Lori. To accept, press 1. To send.
Hello?
Hi, Chris.
Yes, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good. Is it Murray?
It's Lori.
Lori. Okay, all right. Sorry, it was kind of distorted. Awesome. How are you?
Good. Thank you for one of the few channels I follow all the time. Your information, the way you dive into it, your recreations, and especially with the Delphi case, has got me thinking about a lot of different things. When you did the recreation of the bridge guy, it made me start to wonder that and think that this is probably a very well thought out plan, not perhaps geared towards Abby and Libby, but geared towards someone that could have been there that day. Because when you did the bridge guy video, I think the actual killer is from the area and was mimicking not only the clothes and walk, mannerisms, up to where he actually killed the girls to mimic and or implicate Ron Logan. I don't think it's Ron Logan at all. I think it's someone who knows him and knows his property and actually used that to their advantage.
I totally agree, and it's so funny because I'll be honest, that's just something and I'm sure I'm not the first person to think that. I never really looked at his interviews much because I just know that he'd been kind of cleared, so I never really looked at persons of interest as much. I've always kind of looked at different aspects, you know, tried to do my own thing. But yeah, after seeing his outfits, and then it's just kind of like, wow, yeah, you kind of see a green hat. He's got the blue coat and jeans, obviously. Could definitely be. And then it totally makes sense that, of course, people, you know, these people that know Ron Logan and are getting asked in these interrogations or whatever, you know, they'll be like, oh, yeah, it does look like Ron Logan. It's stuff that he wears, you know.
Right. And I mean, there's so many different things, including the sketch and having Kelsi say that the technology used, and then your dive into that on the program that can take the DNA and produce a sketch.
Yes.
I have to wonder. I mean, one of the law enforcement pressers or media releases did say they had DNA, but I have to really question that because there's so much about that in the middle of the afternoon on a very nice day, no one heard the girl scream, cry. There had to have been some sort of,
altercation,
walking, running through the water or something. Because how does one person, even with a gun, totally subdue two young girls?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, people could be walking across the bridge at any time. I mean, you're going to hear scrambling up the bank or, walking around crushed leaves. There doesn't seem to be, it seems to be a very planned and calculated event. And to have it staged, like, at what point would he have staged it if it wouldn't have been right after he committed the murder? Because there were searchers there all through the night through to the next day.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading a comment on your last little part, but yeah, I agree. Oh, go ahead.
I'm thinking it's somebody that either grew up in the area or has relatives that know Ron Logan, that has spent time on his farm, is aware that he has animals, probably been through that area several times, and I believe this is to stage it and to go through all of that. I believe this is somebody that, isn't just, their petty crime criminal that they have locked up. This is somebody who has done this before and is very good at it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Sure. Yeah. I agree with most of those points. It is, this guy was calculated and definitely bold for sure, just to do this. He is a certain type of character to be able to just do this in the middle of the day. And we've heard from many different sources that there was just kind of like a normal day and a lot of people were there, and
that's right. There was that younger couple under the bridge, the lady walking her dog. There were several other people on the trails that day. So, like I said, in my opinion, this is somebody who has done it before, is very had it planned, is very calculated, is very precise, but also has a knowledge of, Ron Logan's farm and that area.
It's quite possible. I would tend to agree. It's something that I've never really thought about as far as the Ron Logan thing, but it's just kind of fascinating that he does kind of wear it could just be pure coincidence, but it is interesting that he is kind of wearing the same stuff. So it just falls along with the lines of how the witnesses say, oh, I could, that looks like Ron Logan. I could completely see that now after just seeing what, his outfits are.
For sure. And when you did it, you look at the interviews, Ron Logan had the jacket, he wears a hoodie under it. And when you were doing that, I'm thinking, you are impersonating Bridge Guy, and you start looking at the clips of Ron Logan, and I'm like, what better way to throw people off?
Yeah, there could be a lot more to this than we could ever think of, But
we'll get there.
Yeah.
Through watching your YouTube channel and all your recreations, I'm sure you'll get there.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the great content, and I'll let you go so that someone else can call in.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in. I hope you have a wonderful night or wonderful day wherever you're at.
You too. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, what a sweet lady. So, so Jennifer says, so you don't think, Jennifer doesn't think he's a mastermind. Interesting. I'd love to get I would love to have you on the call, see what you think about how you feel. Do you think it's just a whole, just a stupid killer just went out there and just, kind of, well, hey, I'm going to take my chance, and it's quite possible that was the case too. But yeah, great call. What a sweet lady. Yeah, I think they were coerced with the gun. Yeah, I mean, clearly they were corralled with the gun. I'm sure they might, I'm sure that's what got them. But yes, obviously, oh, have no voice. Oh, that's right, you've been sick. Oh my gosh, yeah, you've been sick for a while. I'm so sorry. God, yeah, when I was sick, I was out for a good almost 2 weeks. It's like a lot of Midwestern American men dress like that. That's true. Just to match it all with it, like the camo hat, because some people think this is a camo hat, because obviously you really can't tell with the how it's just so pixelated, and this just comes from compression. So that's why you got all this little blur stuff. It's just been compressed. But yeah, let's see, do I have it? Oh, I don't have it out. Anyway, I bought a scarf, so I'm gonna replicate the scarf thing. I'm gonna see if I can maybe replicate this. I'm gonna try a few more things with. I'm gonna, as you know, I was using a purse for this fanny pack. But I'm going to try to find a fanny pack. We're going to do a few more things for sure. All right, we'll do one more call here. Okay,
Call from Vicky. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
I don't know if you saw my messages. I've been having a nightmare trying to find a way to call in. But it looks like I've managed. So, it's been a nightmare. Anyway, I just got something that.
Hello? Hello? Uh-oh. I can't hear you if you're talking. It's like it cut out. Oh no. Sound like such a sweet lady. You're still on the line, but I can't hear you if you're talking. She sounded like she had an accent. Sounded like it might have been different country. It's still on. If you're listening to the stream, try calling in one more time.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Oh, okay. Oh, she said, yep. Okay, so she's going to try to call again. That's funny. I heard the yep. Dana says, I think the hat is more likely a tweed cap. Yeah, my theory, because as you can see, I did try, I tried some bill hats, ivy hats, ball caps, what was the other one? Driver hat, I guess you call it. There's something. God, there's so many hats. It's crazy. My two theories is he's either got a hat that's either got the bill back, so you can't see it. If there is a bill, I think it would be a short bill, because you can kind of see a shadow. So that I don't think that's from the bill though. And then maybe, I mean, it kind of looks like there could be flaps, but that might just be the hoodie, just kind of expanding out. So it's kind of tough to say on that one. So we'll do one more phone call. Okay, here we go. All right, so hopefully this one will work.
call from?
Vicky.
To accept, press 1. To send a...
Hello, let's try it again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I heard you, and then all of a sudden it cut out. So
It just cut out. Okay, it might be my Bluetooth then. So sorry about that.
No, that's
I'm going
okay.
to have to work on it, and I don't know how far I got, but
No, we heard like the first words. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we just heard hello, and then
No,
you were
it's
gone.
all right, don't worry.
So, yep, start from the beginning, and the floor is yours.
Okay. So I'm fairly new to the Delphi case. I'm in the UK, and it's something that's been playing on my mind for the last few weeks. Do you know this theory of Bridge Guy supposedly being part of the search crew, and so could have been in the area? Well,
oh no, I can't hear you. Vicky.
Is that any better?
Oh, there
Is it
you are.
any better?
Okay, that's better. Yep.
Okay. Oh, okay. Basically, when I was having a look on social media at previous news reports around the time of, I can't even bring myself to say it, those two poor girls, but I found a news report from a local station, and it was a tweet. And it was a tweet on the 14th of February, and it was uploaded about three and a half hours after the girls' bodies had been found.
Ooh,
and
okay.
There's an image attached to it, taken by the local news, this journalist or whoever he is, and it appears to look like Bridge Guy crossing the bridge, but from behind. Now, initially I was thinking, maybe it's, it's one of those things that's being uploaded at a later date, or, maybe it's a picture of someone doing like a reconstruction of what happened. But it turns out...
Oh, we just lost you. Oh no. If you can hear me, Vicky, we lost you.
Is it any better now?
Okay, it's better now. Yep, we heard.
Oh, okay. It seems to be every time my screen goes off, I think it's cutting the microphone out. Yeah, basically, it looks like bridge guys walking over the bridge in this picture, and it was uploaded, as I said, about three and a half hours after the girl's bodies were found. So at that point, nobody even knew about Bridge Guy. Now, I was thinking, okay, maybe someone's gone back and they've edited the tweet at a later date once they found out about Bridge Guy, but you can't edit tweets.
No.
So I actually initially forwarded it onto Randy because, he was one of the first sort of,
Randy Kravitz.
YouTube that I sort of really... Pardon?
Randy Kravitz?
Randy Kravitz, yes.
Yes, okay.
Randy Kravitz, yeah.
Awesome.
And I shared my my thoughts with him, and I said, look, can you do what you feel is right with it? Because I'm not local. I don't know this case as well as he does. And I left it with him, but I haven't heard anything from anyone. And since then, like what you've been doing recently, I've been going through a lot of the video, clips.
Yes. Yeah.
Predominantly on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And on there, I've now found the video of that same guy. And that was the video from this local news station was uploaded. I think it was, the time that displays on the ticker at the bottom of the screen is saying it's at 12:33 p.m. on the 14th. And the camera just literally pans around and you see a guy just stroll onto the bridge. It's just one man. His physical build is very, very close to the bridge guy as we know it, as well as the clothing. And it seems that he looks as though he walks over the bridge, and then it kind of you see him then at the other side of the bridge again on his own, sort of glances down, and then the video cuts out. Now it's really been bugging me, so I forwarded it on to the tip line, the email that's been given, and obviously I'm not expecting anything to hear back from or whatever, but it's just bugging me because I think, there's too many strange things that, we didn't know about Bridge Guy at that point.
Right.
And it seems so one or two other people have noticed that exact same thing, but it's like nothing's more to come from it on the tweet. Does this make any sense?
No, it does. I think I know the video talking about, but I don't know if you can email me. I would love to see that to see if I know.
That's exactly what. That's what I was going to do. I mean, I've been sort of, on and off listening to what everyone's had to say recently, and I'm listening to what you're saying about going back on the older footage and everything. And it's I've said. No reconstructions have been done by people like Anthony Brino and some locals and stuff, but this guy does not look like he's part of a reconstruction, and considering it was within literally 2-3 hours
yes
the girls being found before anything else sort of really blew up, I really think there could be something in it.
Interesting.
So I wanted to share it with you anyway, because I'm sort of sitting here thinking, am I imagining all of this in my head? Am I blowing this out of proportion? Because it could be something.
Sure.
Because if you consider how people, how nervous people are about walking over the bridge. This guy just sort of seems to stroll on, and it's very odd. He kind of sort of hesitates after he's already stepped on at one end, and then it's like a 20-30 second clip, and then you see him at the other side, standing looking down, so like looking down, towards where the creek is, and it's there's no one else in it. So what I'll do is I'll forward you the tweet and a link to the clip, so you can have a look yourself.
Okay, great.
And see, just so I can pick your brain a little bit,
Sure.
That would be really good to share it.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to. Yeah. I think I have an idea, but I could be completely off. But yeah, I am so curious to see that and check it out.
But that's the thing. I think sometimes it's really difficult because, I mean, I've only just really, I sort of say, since the whole Summer Wells thing and Gabby Petito, it's only sort of since all of that's kind of happened that I've actually been following a lot of American cases, and it's all very, very different actually in the way things kind of the legal procedures and the things, ways that you do things. So I find it quite fascinating, but it's just one of those things where I'm thinking sometimes having fresh eyes on something is a good thing, and maybe the fact I'm not even American, maybe I can look at it from maybe a slightly different point of view. At the end of the day, I think sometimes we can become too involved, and this is when the gossiping, the conspiracy theories and everything, I think, starts to really develop, because people really want there to be something. People want to find, that one piece of information, and, absolutely, that's what it's about. But I think it's just driving a lot of nonsense. And I was worried that if I, sort of pointed this out, that people would just say, oh, don't be silly, oh, that's so-and-so when we went back out there and we wanted to, see how long it would take for us to get over the bridge or, whatever it is. And I was thinking, I don't want to be, sort of be shot down instantly, sort of disregarded as, oh, no, that's nothing, because I genuinely think having, like I said, fresh eyes coming into it, it really jumped out at me. And I've seen footage of other people, going over with their blue jackets on and all of that, and, because of the timing and the date and the fact it's on a proper news channel.
Yeah.
So it's not hearsay, it's not, neighbour said this or, my cousin's friend's dad said that. It's a local reputable channel,
Yeah.
And I think that shouldn't be ignored,
Interesting. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to see that. If you can email me that when you can. And then maybe I'll save that for my next Delphi. So that'll be the cliffhanger for my next show because I'm interested to see that.
I think this is it. I mean, it's as with everything else that we're talking about. It is a process of elimination, and I think the trouble that the public are having is, like I said, everyone's wanting to help. Everyone wants to get justice for Abby and Libby and the families. Okay, but I think the lack of information, the lack of clarity from law enforcement is unfortunately fueling a lot of it, because people, they do, I mean, after 5 and a bit years, they do need to start saying, actually, yes, we think it's probably more this, or no, that is definitely not what happened, whereas they're kind of at the moment with their game, it's like they're playing a game with the perpetrator, and, they're not.
Uh-oh. That wasn't me. Oh, the call ended. Oh, no. Oh, no, the call dropped. All right, well, that sucks. I'm sorry. That was not me. The call just dropped. Maybe because she's overseas, obviously. But thank you so much for calling in. I'm sorry your last few thoughts got cut off, but thank you so much for calling in. I think... before we end it, so I'm going to close the phone line down. I got to touch on a few. So Tom Ann says, mistake, temp was 30. So the mistake, temp was 30. Wind was 5 miles per hour towards BG. Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to take another run at the... obviously I've just been talking about it, but yeah, we're gonna do another control test wearing some different garments and stuff. So I'm excited to do that as well. Since we're kind of at the end of the show, okay, yeah, man, no problem. Yeah, it just cut you off. It wasn't me, I promise. I think the call just dropped or something. So, but thank you so much, man. And yeah, email me that, and we'll show that the next time. So yeah, for those that haven't already, if you want to email me, we'll show pictures of your pets in upcoming live shows. Some of the stories we've got upcoming are Brandon Lawson. I'm going to just do kind of a short, like maybe 10-15 minute video, not a live show, but just like a regular upload of all the stuff that, me and Tom, and basically Tom, all of his hard work. We're just going to do that where it's just kind of a timeline with his stuff added in, and just without the interview and stuff. So it's just straight timeline, information, and it's, it's easy, and it's 10-15 minutes. And then I know Tom is going to be working on, his final part to, doing some tests with the 911 call. So I'll be expanding on that. I'm still keeping my ears to the ground with the Kylan Schulte case, with Dog the Bounty Hunter saying no, they don't have the right person. Yet you got the father celebrating, thinking, hey, this is done. So it's kind of a mess. I haven't heard anything in a few days, really much. But so we'll see what's going on. One thing to take away from all this, though, is that the guy that supposedly Dog has is another person that knew the girls. So I think as far as like the guy being a creeper, I think that was a separate incident. What not a lot of people know is that on Friday the 13th, after they went up, on the 14th, they actually got up and went back into town on their motorcycle, I believe, and grabbed a few things and then drove back up. And it's apparently they were followed back up by Adam. So that, I believe that's like what happened, or what the law enforcement is saying. So, but we'll see. We'll look more into that for sure. Another thing is you can now gift people memberships. Like Copper Horse was so sweet to gift Sleuth's mom a membership. So that's so sweet. So you can gift other people memberships. That's just something new. And then also they have the super thanks. So you can instead of just doing donations during lives only, you can send donations in the comment sections, and it's supposed to like liven up the comment sections and stuff. So that's really cool. So we got that, and then we've got the Skinwalker Ranch stuff. There's so much more recordings we've got that we'll release. A lot of that will be for members. So if you want to become a member, we have tons of member exclusive videos. I try to do at least a couple a week for members only. So I think with that said, I think we're going to call it a night. We've gone 2.5 hours almost. Gosh, wow, that went fast. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing, and I am so humbled to have the community we have. So, and then mods, we're going to be doing a giveaway for you real soon. So maybe this weekend. And also we're going to be doing donations soon as well. I've just got to see when they're going to be offering some kind of